Hey there, my name is Ben and I'm a product designer at Miro. Recently, I created a RPG game for a very famous podcast in the world called Lenny Podcast. In this video, I'm going to show you how I use Miro to build it. So let's take a look at my overall process first. So whenever I have an idea to build or a game like this to build, I always like to start by defining a core idea. And by core idea, it doesn't need to be just text, right? A lot of times, since I'm a designer, I have a lot of like visual context in my brain. I also like to visualize it in some way. I'm going to show you how I do it in Miro later on. But I also like to, quickly sketch up something so that AI can actually take the visual context together with my verbal context, as well as the text to help me to create a PRD. And then the AI basically will then take the PRD as a reference throughout the implementation to help me to create a POC of it, the MVP of it, and even the end-to-end product of it. And in my experience, the first two stages are actually the most important stage. Why is that? It's actually because right now with Claude, Cursor, Codex, all the five coding tools out there, it's very simple for anyone to create any products they want, right? And the only way that you can differentiate yours versus others is actually to focus on the first two stages so that you can have a unique idea and you can have a comprehensive PRD for AI to create your product. Now, this is how I created my RPG game from Miro, right? So in the beginning, of course, I had a bit of idea, right? So basically what I did was, so I basically went to ChatGPT and say, hey, I want to create a mini game that takes all the podcast episode from Lenny Podcast, and I want to generate questions from each episode and make it like a Pokemon RPG game. As you can see, there are a lot of like grammar issues over here, like a lot of typos over here. But at this stage, I don't even care about like the details of it, right? I just want to, ramble. I just want to put my ideas out there. But to help AI to understand what I actually mean, I actually put together something like this in Miro as well. So I basically went to Google, search for a few screenshots of Pokemon, put it in Miro, and then start putting like different things together, right? So I basically want Lenny to be able to walk in a map, in a RPG map. And then I want a battle screen like this. And if you take away all the layers, then you can see the original screenshot of it. But I basically just like put some screenshot over here and then start stacking things together so that I can actually describe to AI what I want. And then basically with the visual context over here, and then with the rough idea that I have over here, one thing that I always like to do is rather than jumping from this stage directly to PRD, because like in many times when you have a rough idea, it's just a rough idea, right? And it's too early to help you to craft a full PRD. And if you just ask AI to craft a PRD now, then it will make up a lot of assumptions on its own. And so always one thing that I like to do is I like to throw in my visual context together with my verbal context. And then I'll basically ask ChatGPT and say, hey, create a question list to help you put together a PRD based on all the information you gather. And then ChatGPT will basically return me a bunch of questions, which is what you saw over here. So what you saw over here was actually like what I got in the beginning. And then like normally what I would do is I will then look at the list of questions and then use a product called Whisper Flow to dictate my answers, right? So that I don't need to type anything. I just need to go through the question list and then answer the questions one by one. Now in Miro, you also don't need to go to ChatGPT as well. You can actually just hook up so you can use a feature called Miro Flows where you can hook up different artifacts in a board. So for example, you can just connect this one. Oh, it's already connected. So you can connect this with the document widget over here. And then you can basically write a prompt and it can be the same prompt, right? So you can basically say, hey, create a question list based on the prompt over here. And then what Miro Flows will do is it will take the prompt over here plus any artifact that you provided that you link over here and then generate a full question list for you. So basically, if you hit run from the template over here, it will do exactly the same thing like ChatGPT do. Aside from you don't need to copy it from ChatGPT over to Miro. And then another thing that I like to do, of course, is one reason why I like to put all the visual context over here in Miro is then I have all my artifacts in one place and visually connect it so that I don't need to go to ChatGPT and then scroll up and down and try to find all the context, right? You can see in Miro, I can actually put my screenshots over here, the questions over here, answers over here, and then PRD, which I'm about to talk about, all in a very, visually organized way so that it's easier for me to follow things as well. After I have the questions, the answer, and some visual reference, then I will come to Miro. And again, I was using Miro Flows again. So I was like connecting Miro Flows with the document over here. So I connected. If you select the document over here, you can see everything that I connected. So I connected the screenshots over here. I connected the question over here as well. I also connected the answers. So, and then basically the prompt I put over here is a comprehensive prompt over here to ask AI to put together PRD for me. And this is basically the results that I got. And then from there, of course, I want to Claude Code to implement the entire game, right? But right now, we also have MCP in Miro as well. So you can actually connect MCP with Miro, and then it will actually then you can connect with any vibe coding tools that you're using or any AI tools that you're using, and then it will take context from your Miro board and help you to create the app in the AI tool that you're using. Maybe one thing that I will show you before I end this entire video is in my original game, I was using ChatGPT a lot to create this image characters, right? Which is very important for a game like this. But of course, in Miro, we also have like image generation capabilities as well. So in case you just want to visualize some characters that you have in your brain, then you can also just use the template to create something similar as well. So basically what I did over here is you can again use Miro Flow to change this with another document. And then basically over here, what I did is based on a PRD, create a detailed prompt for a character in the game. And then you can see this is a example prompt that I generated. And then from that, you can connect with an image, which will then help you to create the characters. And that is basically it. So if you want to follow the same prompt, the same process, you have this template that you can use to create any games you want. And of course, if you want to study the details of it, you can also head to Lenny newsletter. You can see how I use different tools, including ChatGPT, Codex, Claude Code, and Miro, and of course, like different tools to help me create the end-to-end game. And of course, here you can also play the game as well if you're interested. And that is basically everything. I hope you will enjoy creating your own product. So yeah.